Ever try to, like, untangle a conspiracy? You know, the kind where the truth is buried under just mountains of data and, like, cryptic connections?
Oh, yeah.
It's gotta be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Used to be cracking a case.
Yeah.
That could take years of research sifting through paperwork and red tape.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Think about like a financial crime ring laundering millions.
Oh, yeah.
Before, investigators would be combing through mountains of transactions by hand.
Oh, gosh.
Now AI can analyze all that data in the blink of an eye, instantly highlighting suspicious patterns.
Wow.
Weeks of work compressed into minutes.
Okay, so we're talking about a serious upgrade in firepower for investigators.
Absolutely.
And that's really at the heart of this article you shared.
Yeah.
AI isn't just speeding things up.
Right.
It's revealing these connections that human analysts, they just might miss.
Yeah.
They would have no chance.
It's like having a tireless detective
Yes.
with a perfect memory,
That's the key.
piecing together this puzzle that no human could really fully grasp.
It's like having this relentless investigator, shining a spotlight into the darkest corners of these powerful institutions.
Oh, yeah.
Suddenly, it's much harder to hide information,
Wow.
to bury the truth under layers of bureaucracy.
So much for those secrets.
Right. And naturally, this new transparency, it creates some pushback.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, the article mentioned these new AI-powered apps designed to protect whistleblowers.
Yeah, interesting.
It's like giving someone a digital shield,
Right,
letting them
exactly.
share sensitive information anonymously and securely.
It makes sense if you're risking your career, maybe even your life,
Yeah.
to expose wrongdoing.
Right.
You'd want every possible safeguard, of course.
But here's the catch. Even with the public largely in favor of transparency,
Yeah.
there's still a lot of resistance from institutions to fully adopt these technologies.
Which makes you wonder why the hesitation.
Yeah.
Is it about protecting reputations or is it something deeper?
They make you wonder.
And this is where the article takes its interesting turn,
Okay.
shifting from whistleblowers to China's lying flat generation.
It's a fascinating connection, really.
Okay.
This lying flat trend. It's a symptom of deeper economic anxieties.
Okay.
Imagine being a young person in China today, feeling like that traditional path to success is out of reach.
Yeah.
Hard work, a good job, a comfortable life.
The things we used to take for granted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That sense of stagnation, the article argues, is partly fueled by AI's impact on the job market.
So it's not just that AI is automating jobs away.
Right.
It's reshaping the entire economic landscape,
It's changing the rules of the game.
leaving many feeling like they're getting left behind.
Yes, and the article suggests this isn't just a Chinese phenomenon, it's a global trend.
Wow.
This wave of AI-driven change is pushing us towards a crossroads.
Okay.
On one hand, you have the potential for incredible progress, for solving complex problems.
Right.
But on the other hand,
Yeah.
you have this growing economic anxiety,
Yeah.
this sense that the system isn't working for everyone.
And it feels like that's fertile ground for populism to take root.
Often that's exactly what happens.
Okay, so let's unpack that connection a little bit.
Okay.
We've all heard the term populism thrown around,
Right.
but what's the link between AI and this rise of populist movements?
Think of it this way. Imagine you're struggling to make ends meet, watching your job prospects dwindle,
Yeah.
while the elites seem completely out of touch with your reality.
Out of touch.
That feeling that the system is rigged, that nobody in power is listening,
It's a frustrating place to be.
that's fertile ground for populist leaders to take root.
And the article uses figures like Nigel Farage as examples, right?
Yeah.
Leaders who tap into that frustration,
Absolutely.
offering seemingly simple solutions to what are really complex problems,
Right.
often by pointing fingers and placing blame.
Exactly. Populism often thrives by simplifying complex issues,
Right.
by identifying an enemy
Okay.
and promising to restore a sense of order that people feel is slipping away.
They want to fix it.
And in this case, the article suggests that AI, while holding this immense potential, is also contributing to the very conditions that fuel this populist surge.
Okay.
Job displacement, economic anxiety, and a widening gap between the haves and have-nots.
It paints a pretty stark picture.
It does.
AI driving progress on one hand, but also fueling instability and dissatisfaction on the other.
It's a double-edged sword.
And it's not just a political issue.
Right.
It's hitting people right in their wallets.
Absolutely.
The article talks about the middle class feeling squeezed,
Yeah.
struggling to maintain their standard of living.
The rising cost of living, stagnant wages, the increasing difficulty of affording basic necessities.
Think about the cost of groceries.
Yeah.
housing, even just like a night out.
Right.
It feels like everything's getting more expensive while paychecks stay the same.
And it's not just a feeling.
Right.
The article cites actual data on stagnant wages, the rising cost of living,
Yeah.
and the increasing difficulty of maintaining a middle-class lifestyle.
It's like the ground is shifting beneath our feet.
It is.
Many are struggling to keep their balance.
And here's where the article draws a chilling parallel.
Okay.
The current economic climate, with its squeezed middle class and widening inequality,
Yeah.
and the stagnation that crippled the Soviet Union before its collapse.
Wow.
It's a comparison that makes you stop and think, are we headed down the same path?
It's a sobering thought, for sure.
It is.
And the article doesn't shy away from tackling other uncomfortable truths,
Like
the pervasiveness of corruption.
oh, yeah.
It argues that corruption isn't just a problem in developing nations.
Right.
It's deeply embedded in many industries, even in the West.
It's everywhere.
It's like this hidden rot, undermining progress from within.
The article uses the term gift economy,
Okay.
which sounds harmless enough, right?
Right.
But it's describing a system rigged to benefit a select few,
Oh, I see.
often at the expense of everyone else.
At the expense, okay.
Imagine entire industries built on maintaining inefficiencies,
Wow.
because those inefficiencies line the pockets of those in power.
It's about protecting the status quo, even if that status quo is feeling the majority.
Exactly.
It's like the old saying, the fox is guarding the hen house.
Right.
And what's even more striking is the irony the article points out.
What's that?
Western countries who've long criticized China for its protectionist economic policies are now adopting similar strategies themselves.
Oh, interesting. It's a classic case of do as I say, not as I do.
Ex-
The article suggests that as China's economic power has grown,
Yeah.
Western countries struggling to compete on a level playing field have resorted to protectionism to shield their own industries.
Which seems short-sighted, doesn't it?
It does.
I mean, on the surface, protectionism might sound like it's protecting jobs,
Right.
but isn't it really just delaying the inevitable while potentially stifling innovation and driving up prices for consumers?
Precisely. And it highlights the immense challenges of navigating this increasingly complex, globalized world.
It really does.
We're grappling with rapid technological advancements like AI,
Yeah.
shifting economic power dynamics, and a growing sense of uncertainty about the future.
It's a lot to process.
Hmm.
This article really throws open the doors on some crucial questions.
It does.
And it's clear this is a conversation we need to have.
Wait.
But before we dive into the next layer of this, what are some key takeaways you think we should be mulling over?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that we're at a pivotal moment. We're at a pivotal moment. It's like we're standing on the edge of this AI-powered future,
Yeah.
and the choices we make right now
Right.
will determine the course of events for decades to come.
It's both exhilarating and a little terrifying, right?
It is.
Because for all the anxieties we've been unpacking about job displacement and economic upheaval,
Right.
the article also hints at AI's potential for positive change.
Exactly.
It's not all doom and gloom.
Not at all. Think about the impact AI is already having on investigative journalism.
Okay, yeah,
It's giving journalists superpowers,
okay.
allowing them to uncover corruption, hold the powerful accountable, and bring to light stories that might have otherwise remained hidden.
Yeah, that's huge.
Remember that financial crime ring we talked about?
Yeah,
AI could expose that kind of activity,
right, yeah.
making it much harder to get away with shady dealings.
It's like AI is handing us this giant magnifying glass,
Yes.
allowing us to examine the inner workings of systems that were once just opaque and impenetrable.
And it's not just about exposing wrongdoing.
Okay.
It's about using that knowledge to find solutions.
Right, because knowledge is only powerful if you actually use it.
Exactly. Imagine using AI to analyze climate data,
Okay, yeah.
identifying patterns and trends that could help us combat global warming.
Wow.
We're using AI to personalize education,
Okay.
tailoring learning experiences to individual students' needs.
Okay, so like really targeted education.
Yes. The possibilities are extraordinary.
It sounds like we need to shift our thinking then.
We do.
Instead of fearing AI,
Right.
we should be figuring out how to harness its power for good.
100%.
Like, how do we steer this technology in a direction that benefits all of humanity?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It really is.
And that requires a nuanced understanding of both the opportunities and the challenges.
Okay, so how do we do that?
It's about asking the right questions.
Like what?
What are the ethical implications of AI decision-making?
Okay.
How do we ensure transparency and accountability in AI systems?
Yeah, those are big questions.
They are. These are conversations we need to be having right now, not 10 years down the line when it might be too late.
Right now. Yeah.
Mhm.
And these aren't just questions for tech experts or policymakers to grapple with, are they?
No, they're not.
It feels like we all have a role to play in shaping this AI-powered future.
We absolutely do. It's about being informed citizens, engaging in these conversations, and
Yeah.
advocating for the kind of future we want to see.
So taking action.
Yes. The future isn't some preordained destiny.
Right.
It's shaped by the choices we make today.
I like that. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
Connecting the dots between AI journalism, the economy, even populism.
It's all connected.
But the article also dives into some specific examples and arguments that I think are worth exploring in more detail.
Okay.
Let's zoom in a bit, shall we?
Let's do it. Sometimes the most illuminating insights are hidden in the details.
You know, one thing that really struck me was how the article connected AI to the world of finance.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about job displacement,
Right.
but it goes even deeper.
It's fun.
It's like AI is rewriting the rules of investing,
Yeah,
changing how we assess risk,
absolutely.
how markets function at their core.
It's a fundamental shift. Imagine algorithms powered by AI,
okay.
sifting through mountains of financial data,
Right.
spotting trends, and making predictions with an accuracy we could only dream of before.
Yeah.
It's like having a crystal ball.
Right.
But instead of vague prophecies, you're getting hard data.
Wow.
Probabilities calculated down to the decimal point.
That's both exciting and a little unnerving, right?
It is a bit of both.
On one hand, you have the potential for smarter investments,
Right.
maybe even a more stable financial system.
Potentially.
But on the other, you have these incredibly complex algorithms
Yeah.
making decisions that impact millions.
And that's the thing.
And even their creators might not fully grasp how they work.
It's the black box problem.
Right.
We're handing over more and more control to these AI systems,
Yeah.
trusting them to make decisions that shape our financial lives.
It's a big leap of faith.
It is, but
Mhm.
often without truly understanding the logic behind those decisions.
And the stakes are high, right?
Oh, absolutely.
We're not just talking about individual investors winning or losing here.
Yeah.
A single algorithmic miscalculation,
Yeah.
an unforeseen market ripple effect,
It could snowball.
could snowball into something with global consequence.
Exactly.
And this is where the article's call for greater regulation and oversight really resonates.
Yeah, it's essential.
It's not about stifling innovation,
right.
but about putting safeguards in place,
Exactly.
ensuring these powerful AI tools are used responsibly and ethically.
It's like handing someone the keys to a supercar.
Right.
Incredible potential, sure.
Yeah.
But you'd want to make sure they know how to handle that power responsibly before letting them loose on the open road.
It's the good analogy.
And that sense of responsibility, of careful consideration,
Yeah.
needs to be woven into the very fabric of how we develop and deploy AI.
So it's bigger than just the technology itself.
It is. It's about the values that guide its creation and application.
It's about making sure that AI serves humanity, not the other way around.
Precisely. And that requires a collective effort.
Okay.
A global conversation about the future we want to create.
A global conversation. We need everybody at the table.
We need policymakers, technologists, ethicists, everyone really, to come together and chart a course that benefits all of humanity.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm struck by a sense of cautious optimism.
Yeah.
We've explored some unsettling truths,
Yeah,
anxieties about the future,
for sure.
but also this incredible potential. AI is this double-edged sword,
It is.
capable of great good or harm.
Right.
And the choices we make right now will determine which edge cuts deeper.
It's a future we're writing together.
Okay.
One line of code, one policy decision,
Yeah.
one conversation at a time.
And to our listeners, we leave you with this. What role will you play in shaping this AI-powered future?
How will you use your voice, your actions, to ensure we harness this technology for good?
The future isn't something that happens to us.
It's something we create